Look, I get it. You're tired, you're frustrated. You've been grinding so long and you ain't seen the results, but I need you to hear me loud and clear. When you feel like quitting, remember why you started. You didn't come this far to just come this far. Listen to me. Pain is temporary. Let me say that again for the people in the back. Pain is temporary. It might last for a minute or an hour or a day or even a year. But eventually, if you don't quit, it will subside and something greater will take its place. That something is purpose. You've got to stop making permanent decisions based on temporary feeling. You feel tired right now. You feel broken. Maybe you feel like the world is closing in on you. But let me ask you something. Is that the reason you started? Did you start this journey just to give up when it got hard? Did you come this far just to say, I'm done, when things didn't go your way? No, you started because something inside you said, I am meant for more. You had a purpose, a fire, a vision. And guess what? That vision is still alive even when your body is tired. Huh? That purpose is still breathing, even when your mind is telling you to stop. You're not in this for comfort. You're in this for growth. And growth don't come easy. Growth comes with pain. But pain is the price you pay to walk in your purpose. Every time you feel like quitting, I need you to shout these words to yourself. Pain is temporary. Purpose is forever. Because what you build today with pain will bless your life tomorrow with purpose. Let me break this down for you. That alarm clock goes off at 4 a.m. and you're thinking, why am I doing this? Because you're building something greater. That rejection letter, that closed door, that betrayal, it stings now. But if you hang on, if you push through, you'll look back and say, I'm glad I didn't quit. You see, pain is a teacher. It's not here to destroy you. It's here to develop you. You're learning resilience. You're learning focus. You're learning to stay in the game even when you don't feel like it. Because when your emotions are gone, when motivation fades, when the crowd isn't cheering, the only thing left is your why. And that's where purpose lives. Purpose doesn't live in applause. Purpose doesn't live in comfort. Purpose lives in those dark moments when nobody sees you grinding, nobody believes in your dream. And all you got is faith and fire in your soul. You think champions don't feel pain? You think greatness comes without suffering? No. The difference is champions know how to suffer with a reason. They know that the pain they feel today will pay the rent for their future. You want a legacy? You want success? Then get comfortable being uncomfortable. Let the pain be the pathway. Let the struggle be the sign that you're alive, that you're in the fight. I know you're tired, but tired don't mean done. Exhausted don't mean empty. What you're carrying is heavy, but you were built for it. You've been chosen for it. So don't you dare quit now. Your purpose is calling you. And if you walk away now, you won't just lose your dream. You'll lose the person you were born to become. There are people waiting on the other side of your pain. Your family, your future self, your community, they're all watching to see what you do next. You've been through too much to give up now. You cried, you sacrificed, you stayed up late, you passed on fun, you made choices they didn't understand. So don't throw that all away because it hurts right now. You're not soft, you're not average, you're a warrior. And warriors don't retreat. Retreat. Warriors remember why they fight. And when they're hurt, they keep swinging. When they're down, they get back up. You have a fire inside you that pain can't put out. Only purpose can direct it. So here's what I want you. Next time you feel like quitting, I want you to grab a mirror and remind yourself, this pain is temporary. This fatigue is temporary. But my purpose, that's forever. My why is eternal. Because at the end of the day, this ain't about how you feel. It's about who you're committed to becoming. Let me tell you something. Your excuses are loud. They show up when it's raining. They show up when you're tired. They show up when nobody's watching. But you gotta make sure your why speaks louder than all of those excuses combined. See, the reason most people quit isn't because they're weak. It's because they forgot their why. The grind got hard. The pain hit deep. And when that moment came, they looked at the situation and said, I don't feel like it. But your dream, they don't care how you feel. They care how you move. And how you move depends on how strong your reason is. When I was homeless, eating out of trash cans, when I was waking up in abandoned buildings, I had every reason to quit. I had every excuse ready. I didn't have a father. I didn't have money. I didn't have support. But guess what I had? I had a why. I wanted to be somebody. I wanted to break the cycle. I wanted to give my future family the life I never had. And that why? That's what got me up at 3 in the morning. That's what pushed me through nights when I cried myself to sleep. That's what silenced every excuse I had. So I gotta ask you, what's your why? Because if your why is strong enough, the how will figure itself out. If your why is clear enough, you'll fight through the fog. You'll climb when your legs hurt. You'll work when your body screams to stop. You'll find a way when everyone around you says there's no way. That's the power of your why. But the problem is, some of y'all don't have a why. You're chasing dreams with no anchor. You're working with no direction. You're waking up hoping success will find you, but you haven't given yourself a reason to fight for it. That's why when life hits, and believe me, it will hit hard, you fold. Kick for it. Because there's nothing behind your hustle holding it together. You got to identify the thing that sets your soul on fire. You've got to find the reason why you refuse to stay average. Maybe it's your kids. Maybe it's your parents. Maybe it's your past. Maybe it's proving to yourself that you're more than what they said you be. Whatever it is, find it. Hold on to it. Lie for it. Because your excuses, they'll never run out. They'll always be there. You're too tired. You're too busy. You're too broke. You're too young. You're too old. Oh, the list goes on. But if you let excuses run your life, you'll stay in the same place year after year, wondering why nothing changed. And let me be real with you. It's not that the opportunity didn't show up. It's that the excuse showed up louder. You've got to be willing to look your excuses in the face and say, you are not stronger than my why. When your alarm goes off and your bed feels warm, your why has to be stronger. When your friends are partying and you're alone grinding, your why has to be stronger. When you fail once, twice, 3 times, and your brain says a quiz, your why better get louder and say, oh, we don't stop here. This journey isn't about being motivated every day. That's fantasy. It's about being driven by something deeper. Motivation fades, but your why, that's permanence. That's what fuels you when there's nothing left. That's what makes the difference between finishing and giving up. Look at every successful person you admire. They've all got a reason that wakes them up with purpose. They've all got a why that doesn't allow them to quit. And you've got it too. It might be buried under fear. It might be quiet because life beat it down. But it's in there. And it's your job to bring it back to the front. Write it down. Speak it out loud. Tattoo it on your soul. Make it real. Make it personal. Make it painful if it has to be. Because the truth is, your why must be so powerful that quitting becomes disrespectful. That's right. Quitting ain't just giving up on a goal. It's disrespecting the reason you started in the first place. And every time you choose an excuse, you dishonor the person who believed in you. You dishonor the sacrifices you've already made. You dishonor the dream. You honor the dream you once said mattered. So today, right now, decide. Are you going to be ruled by comfort or live by purpose? Are you going to keep feeding your excuses or finally feed your why? I need you to wake up tomorrow with fire. Not because everything is perfect, but because your why deserves your best. Your why deserves your sweat, your tear. No more letting excuses run the show. No more saying, I'll try again tomorrow. No more halfway. No more talking about it. Be about it. Because once your why gets bigger than your excuses, nothing can stop you. Let me be real with you right now. If you're running from struggle, you're also running from success. You hear what I'm saying? Success doesn't live in comfort zones. It doesn't chill where it's easy. It lives on the other side of pain, the other side of frustration, the other side of those nights where you cried and nobody knew. You got to go through it to get to it. Ain't no skipping the struggle if you want the crown. Some of y'all want success, but you don't want the suffering. You want the victory, but you don't want the valleys. You want the platform, but you don't want the process. And I'm telling you right now, it doesn't work like that. The struggle is the price of admission. You get to the top by walking on rose petal. You get there by crawling through broken glass, by waking up when your body says stay down, by choosing discipline over comfort 100 times. Struggle ain't punishment, it's preparation. Listen, I didn't get to where I am today because life handed me blessing. I got here because I learned how to bleed and build at the same time. I learned how to show up even when I was broken. I learned how to speak life when I didn't have it for myself. And that came from the struggle. You got to stop looking at struggle. Just stop looking at struggle like it's the enemy. Struggle's your gym. That's where your faith gets muscles. That's where your vision gets tested. That's where your grit gets forged in fire. No struggle, no struggle. No pain, no power. Think about the caterpillar that has to fight, squeeze, and break its way out of the cocoon. That fight, that struggle is what gives it the wings to fly. If someone helps it out, it dies weak. You want wings? Then fight your way out. The struggle is shaping you. It's strengthening your character. It's sharpening your hunger. You think it's trying to break you, but it's building the beast in you. Success never comes before struggle. And anybody who tells you different is selling you a lie. You want that dream body? It comes after the struggle in the gym. You want to be a millionaire? It comes after grinding, failing, starting over, and sacrificing when your friends are playing. You want to build a legacy? That comes after days when you wanted to quit, but did. Let me talk to the hustler who's tired, to the dreamer who's on the edge of giving up. I see you. I know you're exhausted. I know you've been doing everything right and still feel stuck, but I need you to hear me. Don't let this struggle make you forget what you're fighting for. You're in the test right now. And guess what? Success ain't about how you act when everything's good. It's about how you grind when everything's falling apart. It's about how you respond when nobody claps, nobody believes, and still you show up. The world will tell you success is luck. That's cute. Let me tell you the truth. Success is suffering done with purpose. It's not the shiny stuff on social media. It's the ugly behind the scenes, the blood, the sweat, the late nights, the rejection, the pain that nobody sees, but you keep going. You know why you struggle? You're on the right path. That's how you know the dream is real. The devil doesn't fight what doesn't threaten him. If you're under pressure, it means there's something powerful inside of you trying to get out. Diamonds don't come out of clouds. They come out of crushing. Gold don't come out of comfort. It comes out of fire. You ain't being planted. And you better believe that when you break through, when you finally get to that other side, you're going to look back and thank the struggle. You'll say, that's what made me. You'll say, that's what made me. You'll say, that pain was my teacher. Because what you built with tears, nobody can take from you. So right now, I don't need you to pray for the struggle to end. I need you to pray for the strength to endure. I need you to lean in. Get focused. Get dangerous. Because every great story has a chapter where the hero almost gave up. And this might be your chapter. But don't you dare close the book here. You've come too far. You fought too long. You've cried too many nights. Don't stop now. Because success, that dream, that freedom, that purpose, that legacy is waiting on the other side of this struggle. And if you can just get through this storm, it's yours. Let's take it all the way back to day one. You remember that, right? That moment when you saw something that nobody else saw, you felt it in your chest. You got chills. Chills your heart beat faster. You had a vision. Not a little idea, not a cute thought. A real, undeniable picture of who you were meant to become. And now life got hard. Things got messy. People walked out. The bills stacked up. The grind wore you down. And somewhere along the way, that vision, it started to fade. But hear me loud and clear. Don't you dare let it die. Don't you bury your vision just because reality got loud. Don't you kill your dream just because comfort came calling. That vision, that was your future talking to you. That was purpose tapping you on the shoulder saying, hey, get up. I've got more for you. You didn't start this for nothing. You didn't cry those tears, make those sacrifices, lose those friends, break those limits, wake up at 4 a.m. for years. Just to throw it all away because it's hard now. No, you started with a vision. That was your blueprint. That was your fire. That was the thing that made you feel alive. So don't lose it now. Don't lose it because things didn't go according to your plan. Let me tell you something. Your vision is still valid even if the path changed. See, that's the difference between average and great. Average people let problems kill their vision, but great people adjust the path and protect the purpose. Greatness isn't about always having clarity. It's about having commitment even when it's dark. You think I didn't want to quit? You think I didn't have nights when I said, oh man, maybe I'm not built for this? I remembered the vision. I remember why I started. I remember that hungry version of me sleeping in abandoned buildings, broke, hopeless. And I said, I can't quit on him. I can't quit on the version of me who had nothing but a dream. Some of y'all got this dream in your heart and you're treating it like it's optional, like it can wait, like Like you can just leave it on the shelf till life gets easier. No, dreams have expiration dates. Visions fade if you stop feeding them. And if you let fear, failure, or fatigue starve your vision long enough, it will die. And you'll be left with regret. And let me tell you, regret hurts more than failure. Because failure teaches, failure builds, but regret is a reminder of what could have been if you just kept going. So today, I'm not here to motivate you. I'm here to wake you up, to remind you that vision you had, it was yours for a reason. God didn't give that vision to your friend, your parents, or boss. He gave it to you. That's why nobody else understands it. That's why people laugh at you. That's why they say, be realistic, because they don't see what they weren't supposed to. But you saw it. So now it's on you to protect it, nurture, work for it, fight for it, fight for it. You need to defend your vision like your life depends on it, because it does. You die a little every time you say, or maybe I'll just settle. No, you were born to do something special, something different, and it starts with that vision. So go back, revisit the moment you first believed. Close your eyes and remember what that dream looked like before the world made you doubt it. Reignite that fire, because the world needs that vision. Somebody out there is waiting on the thing inside you. Somebody's healing depends on your book. Somebody's breakthrough is waiting on your song. Somebody's destiny is tied to your business, your nonprofit, your invention. But if you let the vision die, then vision die. You cheat yourself. You cheat the world. And don't think for a second that it's too late. I don't care if you're 17 or 70. If you're still breathing, the vision is still possible. But you've got to move. You got to recommit. You got to stop playing small. So this is your moment, right here, right now. Look that fear in the face and say, you don't get to kill my vision. Not today, not ever. Look your pain in the face and say, you can hurt me, but you can't stop me. You started with a vision. Don't let it die. Because everything you want, everything you're becoming, everything you're fighting for is still there. It's waiting on you on the other side of belief, effort, and consistency. So go back to the dream and finish what you started. Let me be real with you. Motivation is cute. It feels good. It makes you want to jump out of bed for a couple days, maybe a week. But discipline is the monster that shows up when motivation taps out. You see, motivation is based on feelings, but discipline is based on commitment. Motivation says, I feel like it. Discipline says, I'll do it anyway. Motivation is about the mood. Discipline is about the mission. And I need you to make a decision. Are you chasing feeling or are you chasing a future? Because if you're only working when you feel like it, you'll never become who you were born to be. The grind don't care how you feel. Your goals don't care that you're tired. The vision doesn't care that you're not in the mood. It requires discipline day in and day out. Listen, the people who are winning, they ain't better than you. They're not smarter. They're not more talented. They're just more consistent. They show up when it's raining. They show up when they're exhausted. They show up when nobody claps. Because they've trained themselves to stop depending on how they feel and to start depending on who they're committed to becoming. Discipline is waking up at 5 a.m. when your body says a no. Discipline is sticking to the plan when the results ain't showing yet. Discipline is choosing water over soda, books over distractions, hustle over hype. And that's what separates the average from the savage. Let me tell you something. Your emotions will lie to you. They'll say, sleep in. They'll say, just skip it today. They'll say you worked hard enough. But your discipline, it don't lie. It does the work. It builds the habits. It stacks the win. You don't build muscle from motivation. You build it from reps. You don't build a business from vibes. You build it from grind. You don't build a legacy from hype. You build it from habits. And you know what? That's why most people lose. They start strong. They post a motivational quote. They put it on Instagram. And then 2 weeks in, they're ghost. Why? Because the fire died. Because they were living off inspiration, not determination. But the real ones show up every single day, even when they don't see the results yet. They understand that discipline is a seed. You plant it, you water it, you wait, you work, and eventually the harvest comes. But you can't harvest what you didn't plant with discipline. Let me hit you with some truth. If you only grind when you feel like it, you're not serious. You're flirting with success. You're dating the dream, but you're not married to it. Then you wonder why the results won't commit to you, because you won't commit to them. You have to be more loyal to your standards than your emotion. You have to make your goals so clear and non-negotiable that even when your energy is at 0, your discipline is still on 10. Let me take you back. When I was broke, sleeping on floors, scraping food out of trash cans, I didn't have motivation. I had hunger. I had pain. I had desperation. But most importantly, I had discipline. I said, I'm gonna get up every day, work on my craft, I'm gonna read, I'm gonna speak. I'm gonna grind, even when nobody's watching. And eventually that discipline turned into greatness. You keep looking at people like they're special. Nah, they're just disciplined. They said no to things you keep saying yes to. They stayed when others quit. They built while others scroll. They built while others scroll. They did what had to be done, whether they felt like it or not. Discipline don't ask for applause. Discipline don't wait for motivation. It just works. So here's the question. Can you still show up when nobody's cheering? Can you still push when your tank is empty? Can you still give 100% when all you got is 30%? That's discipline. And that's what greatness requires. Listen to me. If you ever want to separate yourself, if you ever want to do something that lasts, if you ever want to break generational curses and build a legacy, discipline will be the bridge between your dream and your reality. So from this day forward, stop chasing feelings. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop needing somebody to hype you up. Become your own motivation. Let your discipline be your coach. Let your habits be your hype man. Let your routine be your rocket fuel. Because when the feelings are gone, when the crowd is silent, when motivation packs its bags and leaves, discipline will still be standing. And that's who wins in the end. Let me break it down for you. Everybody wants to be great until it gets hard. Until it gets hard. Until it gets lonely. Until it gets quiet. But the ones who actually become great, they keep going, especially when it ain't easy. See, the real test of your greatness isn't how you act when things are going your way. That's easy. Anybody can smile when the sun is shining. Anybody can post about the grind when the checks are clearing and the applause is loud. But true greatness, it shows up when everything falls apart. When there's no camera, no praise, no crowd, that's when the greats are born. You don't become a legend in comfort. You become a legend in the dark. Michael Jordan didn't become MJ by only shooting when it was fun. He became MJ by taking those shots when his legs were dead, when his team was down, when the crowd was booing. Kobe didn't become the Black Mamba because of talent. It was his work ethic at 4 a.m. when nobody else was in the gym. He kept going when it wasn't easy. You say you want to be great. Then you better learn to push through pain. You better learn to keep swinging when you're exhausted. You better learn to work when life is punching you in the mouth and still give 120%. Because let me tell you the truth. Greatness begins after comfort ends. You think greatness is supposed to feel good. You think you're supposed to be smiling all the way through it. No, it's grit. It's grind. It's waking up and saying, even though this hurts, even though it's hard, even though I feel like quitting, I'm showing up. That's what separates the real ones from the almosts. You want the dream, but do you want the discipline? You want the results, but do you want the resilience? Because the greats didn't get there on motivation. They got there on mindset, a decision, a lifestyle. They decided that quitting was not an option, even on the darkest days. Let me talk to the one right now who's thinking about walking away. You're tired. You feel like nothing's working. I've been there. I know that place, that why me place, that I'm doing everything right and it's still not enough place. But that's the exact moment when you're closest to the breakthrough. That's where greatness is hiding, in the moment you want to give up but choose to keep going anyway. You think greatness is made on stage? No, greatness is made in the silence. It's made in the moments when the world isn't watching. It's made when you fail and still try again. That's what makes you unstoppable. You see, the world loves to celebrate greatness, but it forgets the suffering behind. The lonely nights, the broken heart, the sacrifices, the losses, the moments of doubt. But the greats, they understood that easy never changed anybody. They didn't need comfort. They needed a cause. You've got a cause. You've got a vision. You've got a reason. So don't stop now. Because let me tell you something, average quits, greatness finishes. Average blame, greatness takes responsibility. Average makes excuses, greatness makes adjustments. The question is, what are you going to do when it gets hard? When your friends give up, will you keep going? When the results don't show, will you keep grinding? When the pressure builds, will you rise or retreat? Because greatness is not reserved for the lucky. It's earned by the relentless. The greats, they don't feel like it every day, but they fight every day. They train, they execute, they repeat. They do what needs to be done even when they don't feel like doing it. You want to be great? Start doing hard things. Start doing what most people won't do. Wake up when it's inconvenient. Study when you rather sleep. Train when others are talking. Climb when the others are talking. Grind when it hurts. And do it again tomorrow. That's the formula. That's how the greats did it. That's how you can do it. And I promise you, if you keep going when it's hard, if you stay the course when others fall off, if you refuse to quit just because it's uncomfortable, you will rise. You will win. You will win. You will separate yourself because the greats, they kept going when it wasn't easy. You owe it to yourself, not the future version of you, but the past you. Yeah, the one who started this journey, the one who believed in a dream when nobody else did. The one who kept going when they didn't have money, support answered. That version of you, you can't quit on them, you hear me? That version of you who cried in silence, who put in the work when nobody was watching, who sacrificed sleep, fun, and comfort, all for this vision, they deserve to see you finish. Let me break it down. You weren't always this close. You weren't always this strong. You weren't always this wise. But you had heart back then. You had grit. You had a spark in your eyes and a dream in your chest. And even when things were stacked against you, you didn't fold. You didn't break. You kept showing up. So now that you're tired, now that it's hard, now you want to quit, you owe them. You owe that 17-year-old version of you who swore they never give up. You owe that kid who got laughed at but dared to believe anyway. You owe that broken soul who walked through fire and said, I'm not done yet. You didn't survive all that pain to throw in the towel now. Ball. You didn't push through the storms, the failures, the betrayal, just to turn your back on your younger self. That version of you was counting on the future you to keep going. Don't let them down. You see, it's easy to forget how far you've come. We get so focused on what we haven't achieved yet that we forget who we used to be. But I need you to take a second and remember when you prayed for what you have now. Remember when you used to dream about being where you are. Remember when you had every reason to give up, but you did. That's who you owe, not the world, not the haters, not the followers, not the likes. You owe you. You were the one who showed up when it was hard. You were the one who stayed focused when the distractions were everywhere. You were the one who kept working when your heart was breaking. So why quit now? Because it's tough. Guess what's to be? Greatness is never easy. But that younger you, that version of you who fought, who bled, who hoped, they're still inside you, still fighting, still believing, still holding the line, waiting for you to deliver. This is deeper than success. This is about integrity to your own story. You say you wanted this. You say you finished this. You said, I'm going to be the one who breaks the cycle. But I'm going to be the one who changes the game. I'm going to be the one who doesn't quit. So don't quit now. Not when you're close, not when you've already suffered, not when your entire journey has built toward this moment. Let me say this real. You don't get to rewrite the past, but you do get to redeem it. You do get to make every scar worth it. You do get to turn every failure into fuel. You do get to give meaning to the pain. That's the beauty of the journey. You didn't go through all that for nothing. That pain has purpose, but only if you finish what you started. You want to talk about loyalty? Be loyal to the version of you that never gave up. The version of you that held on when everyone else let go. The version of you that said, even if nobody believes in me, I believe in me. You see, the world measures success by what you have. But real warriors measure success by what they endured and who they became because of it. And you've endured a lot. So don't let that version of you go unhonored. Don't disrespect their struggle by quitting now. Don't silence their voice by choosing comfort over completion. Instead, look them in the eyes, that young, scared, fired up version of you, and say, I kept going for you. I didn't quit. For you, I made it. Because you started. Because at the end of this journey, when the victory finally comes, and it will come, you won't just be celebrating a win. You'll be honoring the past. You'll be telling every version of yourself who fought to survive, we did it, you owe it to your past self. So finish what you started. You think you're just living. You think you're just surviving. Nah. Every single day you wake up, you're writing your legacy, whether you feel like it or not, whether you're ready or not, whether it's going your way or falling apart. You're writing a story that people will tell about you long after you're gone. And let me ask you this straight up. What kind of story are you telling? What? Because here's the truth, and I want this to hit your soul. Every decision you make today echoes beyond. Every time you get up when it hurts, every time you stay disciplined when it's easier to quit, every time you push one more rep, one more hour, one more step, you're building your name. And I ain't talking about fame. I'm not talking about being known on social media. I'm talking about something deeper, something that's gonna last, something that's gonna be remembered. Legacy, what will they say about you when you're gone? Will they say, he almost made it? And she has so much potential but never followed through? Or will they say, that man was relentless, as she showed us what strength looks like? They never gave up. You decide right now, because legacy ain't built at the finish line, it's built in the trenches. It's built in the late nights when nobody sees. It's built in the early mornings when you rise while others sleep. It's built in the moments when you keep going, even though every part of you is screaming to stop. People ask, E.T., how do you keep the fire going? Easy. I know I'm writing my legacy every day. I know somebody's watching, my son's watching, my daughter's watching, my students, my audience, they watching. Not just the speeches, they watching how I grind, how I respond when life hits back, how I show up when it's hard. That's where legacy is born. You want to know the crazy part? You're not just writing your legacy, you're impacting theirs. Yeah, your discipline, your sacrifice, your decision. They're inspiring the next generation. You don't even realize it, but there's somebody right now watching your journey, using your courage to find their own strength. So when you quit, it's not just you who loses. Everybody connected to your calling suffers. Legacy ain't about what you get. It's about what you give. It's about what you leave behind. You can leave behind excuses, or you can leave behind examples. You can leave behind complaints, or you can leave behind courage. You can leave behind comfort, or you can leave behind commitment. But you can't leave both. So I need you to shift your mindset right now. From I have to I get to. You get to write this story. You get to wake up and grind. You get to inspire others with your hustle. You get to take the pain and turn it into purpose. Every setback added to the legacy. Every failure added to the legacy. Every comeback definitely added to the legacy. Because the day will come, and it's coming fast, when your name will be all that remains. And the world's gonna ask, what did they stand for? What did they stand for? Or what did they believe in? And you want them to say, they stood for greatness. Either they fought for their family, or they believed in something bigger than themselves. Listen, this ain't about being perfect. It's about being persistent. Don't write a legacy of excuses. Don't write a legacy of fear. Don't write a legacy of almost. Write a legacy of almost. Write a legacy of fight, a legacy of faith, a legacy of finishing strong. Because the real ones, the ones we remember, they didn't quit when it got tough. They didn't run when life pressed them. They stayed, they stood, they showed up, and they left a blueprint for others to follow. So what's your blueprint? What kind of mark are you leaving? Look, I don't care if you came from nothing. Legacy isn't given, it's built. And if you woke up today, you got breath in your lungs, you got another page to write. You got another chance to shift the narrative. You got another shot to say, this is how legends are made. Not so take this moment, not tomorrow, not next week, right now, and declare, I am not just living, I'm leaving something. I'm not just breathing, I'm building something. I'm not just surviving, I'm setting a standard. Write your legacy every day, with every action, with every decision, with every sacrifice. And when the book closes, make sure it's one the world never forgets. You want to quit. You feel like it's too heavy, too hard, too long. Good. That means you're close. That pressure you feel, that pain in your chest, that voice in your head saying it's not worth it, that means you're one step away. Listen to me. One more step could be the difference between breakdown and breakthrough. Just one more. I know you're tired. I know you've been grinding and ain't seen no results. You're thinking, oh, what's the point? Let me tell you, everything you fought for, cried for, prayed for, it's on the other side of that next step. But you'll never know if you quit now. Most people, they stop just before the finish line. They throw in the towel when the pain maxes out, not knowing they were inches away from the win. That's why I say champions don't count the pain. They count the reps. They count the progress. They keep going because they know it might be this next step that changes everything. You say, but E.T., it's been too long. Now say, you've come too far to go back. You already paid the price. You already sacrificed the sleep. You already missed the parties, gave up the comfort, endured the failures. And you want to quit now? After all that? No, sir. No, ma'am. You don't stop in the middle of the storm. You don't collapse in the middle of the climb. You press on. I remember times in my life I thought it was over. When I was homeless, that next step kept me alive. When I failed classes, when I doubted my worth, that next step led me to purpose. When my dreams fell dead, one more step resurrected them. I didn't know what was coming, but I stepped anyway. Faith means stepping when the finish line is still foggy. Success means climbing when the top is out of sight. Because you know it in your soul. Something great is waiting, you just refuse to give up. Let me break it down for you. One more workout, one more chapter, one more resume, one more call, one more day of discipline. That's all it takes sometimes. Just one more to tip the scale. You don't need 10 years of luck. You don't need every door to open. You just need the courage to take the next step. And then the next one after that, cause the wall doesn't fall all at once. You chip away at it, brick by brick, until it breaks. And most people quit after a few hits, but not you. Nah, you're a different breed. You've been through too much. You've come too far. You heard too many and know to stop now. You're the one who keeps swinging. You're the one who keeps walking. You're the one who says, if I gotta crawl to the promise, I will crawl. But I'm not stopping here. You might be tired, but you ain't empty. You might be wounded, but you ain't done. Winners finish. Winners push. Winners step even when the road feels like it's made of fire. Listen, the enemy wants you to stop now. Life wants you to doubt now. The world wants you to fold now. Because they know if you take one more step, you're about to break through that wall. You're about to rise. You're about to rise. You're about to level up, but not if you give up. Not if you let the pressure break you instead of build you. So right now, Nana, I don't care what you feel. You get up, you stand tall, and you say, this step is the one changes my story. This step is the one that honors my struggle. Because I'm one that takes me to the next level. Because I promise you, if you keep stepping, the doors will be. If you keep swinging, the wall will crack. If you keep believing, the vision will come to life. But you got to want it bad enough to move when it hurts. You got to want it bad enough to step when your legs are shaking. You got to want it bad enough to fight when everything in you says, quit. Don't give up now. You're too close. That one more step, that might be the breakthrough you've been praying for. That might be the call that changes your future. That might be the grind that unlocks your greatness. So take the step, even if it's slow, even if it's shaky, even if you're scared, take it. Because champions don't stop when they're tired. They stop when they conquer. Let me say this loud and clear. Failure does not mean it's over. Failure just means you got some data. You ain't failed. You just collected information. See, the problem is, most people treat failure like it's a finish line, like it's some kind of confirmation that they're not good enough, that they're not smart enough, that they don't have what it takes. Let me tell you something. Failure is not a dead end. It's a detour. It's a message. It's instruction. It's correction. It's not rejection. Every time you fail, life is speaking to you. You're close, but not quite. You're strong, but adjust your approach. You're passionate, but you need more discipline. That's data. That's gold. That's how you level up. But most people don't want to hear that. Most people want to win on the first try. They want microwave success. They want instant victory. But real winners, champions, they understand failure is part of the formula. Michael Jordan missed over 9,000 shots in his career. Elon Musk launched rockets that exploded. Thomas Edison said, I didn't fail 1,000 times. I learned 1,000 ways not to make a light bulb. They weren't failing. They were collecting data. You're out here taking one L and calling it the end. No, that L is just a lesson. And if you're smart, you'll take notes, rewrite your plan, and come back stronger. Listen, failure isn't your enemy. It's your coach. It's your mentor. It's the rough draft of greatness. You got to change how you see it. You didn't lose the job. You gained clarity. You didn't bomb the exam. You found where your foundation is weak. You didn't get rejected. You got redirected. You see what I'm saying? Every failure is feedback. Every mistake is a mirror. Every setback is set up for a comeback. But you only get the comeback if you get your mind right. You only rise if you use the failure to fuel your fire. Let me tell you something personal. I failed classes. I dropped out. I slept in abandoned buildings. I was told I'd never be anything. But those failures, that pain, that rejection, it all became my data, my fuel, my reason. And now I walk in rooms with CEOs. I speak in stadiums. I motivate millions. Not because I never fail, but because I refuse to let failure define me. You want to be great? Then stop treating failure like it's fatal. It's not fatal. It's formative. It builds you. It teaches you. It sharpens you. But you got to be brave enough to learn. Too many of you fail and start doubting your purpose. You fail once and start questioning your gift. You get rejected and think maybe the dream ain't real. No, the dream is real. Your patience just isn't yet developed. Your resilience just hasn't been tested enough. But every time you fail and keep going, you prove you're ready for the next level. And hear me, life only promotes those who pass the test. So don't fold when it hurts. Don't quit when it stings. Study that pain. Read that rejection. Decode that failure. Because the answer is in IT. People say, ET, what if I fail again? I say, so what? Fail again, but fail better. Fail forward. Fail until you get it right. Fail until the door's open. Fail until success ain't a surprise. It's a pattern. See, that's the difference between winners and losers. Losers fail and stop. Winners fail, take notes, and try again. Smarter, sharper, hungrier. Don't you let one mistake steal your momentum. Don't you let one no stop your next to yes. Don't you let one fall convince you to never stand again. You hear me? Because on the other side of failure is experience. On the other side of pain is wisdom. On the other side of rejection is resilience. And those are the ingredients of a champion. So when you fail, don't cry about it. Don't hide from it. Don't run away. Own it. Study IT. Then come back stronger. Say to yourself, I didn't fail. I just found a way that doesn't work. I didn't lose. Doesn't work. I didn't fall. I just figured out where my footing needs to be stronger. Because if you learn from it, you win from it. So stop being scared of failing. Start being scared of staying the same. Because failure is not the enemy. Comfort is. Failure is not what breaks you. It's what builds you if you let it. So the next time you hit the wall, the next time the door slams in your face, the next time you fall flat on back, don't say, I'm done. Don't say, I'm done. Say, I just got my next data point. Let's go again. That's how winners are made. That's how legends rise. That's how you, right now, go from average to unstoppable. Failure is just data. Use it. Grow from it. Rise with it. Let me ask you something, and I want you to be real with yourself. If your life ended today, what would people remember you for? Would they remember the grind, the fire, the consistency, the love you gave, the lives you changed? Or would they remember the excuses, the distractions, the wasted potential? Listen to me. Your legacy ain't built when you're old. Your legacy is built right now. Today, every decision you make, that's a sentence in your story. Every sacrifice you make, that's a paragraph in your legacy. Every time you show up when it's hard, when it hurts, when nobody claps, that's your chapter of greatness. So the question is not, will I have a legacy? The question is, what kind of legacy will I leave? See, too many of you waiting for some perfect moment. Waiting for money, waiting for support, waiting for motivation. Let me tell you, legacy don't wait. Legacy gets built in the dirt, in the grind, in the silence, in the pain. When nobody's watching, when nobody believes, that's where it's formed. You think Kobe waited to be remembered before he practiced 3 a.m. jump shot? You think Gandhi waited to feel strong before he stood for peace? You think Martin Luther King waited for applause before he marched? No, they were writing legacy when no one saw them, when it wasn't trending, when it costs everything. You building legacy every time you say no to average. You building legacy every time you wake up at 5 a.m. to chase it. You building legacy when you do the work anyway, even when it hurts, even when it's thankless. Because you're not here to be a footnote. You're not here to be a side character. You're here to be remembered. But hear me, not remembered for fame, not remembered for money, not remembered for being loud. Remember for being real. Remember for impact. Remember because you changed people's lives. And that starts with how you live today. Some of you think you got time. But let me be real with you. You don't know how much time you got. Every moment matters. Every word you speak, every choice you make, every action you take is either building your legacy or breaking it. You think legacy is what people say at your funeral. No, legacy is what lives on when you're gone. Legacy is the echo of your discipline. Legacy is the shadow of your character. Legacy is how people feel when they think about you. So ask yourself, what do you want to leave behind? A name or a standard? A title or a testimony? Let me tell you, the world ain't changed by people who live for themselves. The world is changed by people who live for purpose, who live so loud that their values outlive them. What are you living for? Don't waste this life trying to impress people. Don't waste this moment chasing trends. Build something timeless. Build a body of work that speaks when you're silent. Build a standard of excellence that inspires others. Build a mission that your kids, your students, your followers will carry like a torch. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be purposeful. And purpose starts with one thing, choosing to show up with intention every single day. Wake up and choose to grow. Wake up and choose to serve. Wake up and choose to lead, even if nobody's following yet. Because legacy doesn't ask for permission. It shows up like a lion and leaves its roar in the earth. When you work with love, that's legacy. When you speak with truth, that's legacy. When you keep going when it's hard, that's legacy. I don't care what your past was. I don't care what mistakes you made. Don't care how broke you are, how tired you are, how alone you feel. You can choose today to write a new page. You can be the first in your family to break the cycle. You can be the one your community looks up to. You can be the voice that calls people out of fear and into power. But it starts now. Now, this title, you don't need a title, just a vision. You don't need a crowd, just conviction. You don't need to be famous, just faithful. Every great legacy starts small. But small actions done daily become unstoppable momentum. And that momentum, it becomes your message. So I'm asking you, not next week, not next week, not next year right now, who are you becoming? What legacy are you writing with your choices? What story are you leaving behind? Because life is short, time is precious, and purpose is waiting for you to stop running and start building. So build the life your future self will thank you for. Live the kind of life that makes people better just by knowing you. Be the reason someone else doesn't give up. That's legacy. And you write it not with your mouth, but with your grind, your grit, and your greatness. So go out today and write something worth remembering. Let's get one thing straight. Your feelings don't build empires. Your consistency does. You keep waiting for motivation, waiting to feel like it, waiting for the energy to show up. But greatness don't care how you feel. It don't care if you're tired. It don't care if you're emotional. It don't care if it's raining, if you broke, if you got haters, if nobody clapping for you. Greatness only shows up for the consistent. So the question is, can you show up even when it hurts? Can you do it when you're not celebrated? Can you stay committed when the emotion fades? Because emotion is loud, but it's short-lived. You ever been to a hype seminar or seen a powerful clip online? You got fired up for 2 hours, maybe even 2 days. But then what? You went back to doing the same things because emotion is a spark. But consistency, that's the fire. That's the furnace that forges champions. Let me make it plain. Discipline, motivation, consistency, emotion, grind feelings. You think I feel like getting up at 3 a.m. every day? You think I feel like speaking, writing, grinding, serving, day after day after day? No. I do it because purpose is stronger than feelings. I do it because I made a decision, not a mood swing. Too many of y'all chasing a moment when you need to commit to a mission. You say, I'm grinding ET, but only when you're inspired. only when life's good, only when it's easy. Let me be clear. Greatness is not built in moments. It's built in mundane, in the routine, in the reps, in the 5 a.m. wake-ups when no one's watching, in the boring days, in the painful day, and the "why am I doing this" days. That's where greatness lives. You show me someone who trains when it's hard, someone who shows up when they're sick, someone who works when they're broken, someone who fights even when they lose. I'll show you a legend in the making. Because that's who greatness respects. Not the talented, not the emotional, not the hype beast, but the consistent. I've seen talented people lose to consistent people every single time. I've seen loud people fade and quiet grinders rise. Why? Because the world don't crown you for what you start. It crowns you for what you finish, and finishing requires consistency. I don't care how passionate you are on day one. What I care about is, can you show up on day 91, day 101, day 1001? Can you show up after failure? Can you show up after betrayal? Can you show up when the lights stop? Can you show up when the paycheck is late? That's what greatness rewards. Not your potential, your persistence, not your vibes, your victories earned in silence. Some of y'all treat success like a game of feelings. Like, I didn't feel inspired today, so I didn't do it. Or I was sad, so I skipped the reps. Let me tell you something. Feelings are not facts. Feelings are not strategy. Feelings are not stingy. Feelings are not standard. You can feel tired and still execute. You can feel discouraged and still create. You can feel broken and still build. Because champions are not people who never feel pain. They're people who feel it and keep going anyway. Consistency is loyalty to your future. It's showing up because the vision demands it. Not because the mood allows it. You want to be successful. Then master consistency. Make it your standard. Make it your identity. Make it your way of life. I'm not talking about hype. I'm not talking about perfection. I'm talking about showing up again and again and again. You failed. Show up again. You got hurt. Show up again. Nobody noticed your effort. Show up again. You don't feel like it. Show up again. Because every time you show up, even when it's hard, you're building the character necessary to carry the crown. And I need you to hear this. Your consistency is louder than your excuses. Your consistency is stronger than your doubt. Your consistency is more powerful than your fear. You think consistency is boring? No. Consistency is the quiet roar of champions. It's the heartbeat of greatness. It's what separates those who try from those who become. I don't care if it's your business, your marriage, your mindset, your calling. If you want to win, you got to build rhythm, daily discipline, daily execution, daily hunger. You don't need a perfect plan. You need a pattern of showing up. You don't need perfect emotions. You need unshakable commitment. So don't wait for the perfect time. Don't wait for the stars to align. Be consistent even when chaos hits. Be consistent even when no one's clapping. Be consistent when it hurts, especially when it hurts, especially when it hurts. Because the grind honors those who won't quit. The dream honors those who don't give up. And greatness bows to those who show up every single day. So I dare you. Make consistency your trademark. Make excellence your signature. And when it's all said and done, let them say, "I will never stop. That one never waver. That one lived greatness every single day.